Assalamu alaikum. So for today's episode of Tuesdays with Dr. T, I am going to be bringing you three main questions that you need to ask yourself to help your child. So number one is, what is the detoxification system and why is it important? Number two, why you need to focus on detoxifying and helping your child's body to properly detoxify. And number three, how you can do it. So you need to stick until the end to learn how you can do it, how I have helped my son and all of the students that have been working with us so far. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Okay, so assalamu alaikum again. Thank you for hopping on. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions right during this live session so that I can answer your questions much better. Let me check a little bit if everything is doing okay, because sometimes things are not okay. All right. So the first question that I am going to be addressing today is, what is detoxification system? Okay. So detoxification system is actually your child or your, human body's own natural system. So the organs that are in this system is your liver, your child's liver, then gut, then kidneys, lungs, skin, etc. Okay, so why is it important? Because every day human body is exposed to thousands and thousands of chemicals, okay, from outside of the body, from inside of the body, from what your child eats, how your child poops. All of those things affects your child's detoxification system. And if your child's body is not capable of letting go of these toxins, which are either stored or produced or is exposed from outside, then what happens is the system gets locked off, like waterlogged condition, and all those toxins affects how your child's behave, how your child have brain focus, how your child's brain develops, how your child's attitude is, sleep, eating habits, all of those things. So actually the problems of autism kids on the spectrum who have those struggles, all of those problems can actually be boiled down into very simple understanding, okay, which is why we are here today. So you have to understand this thing. The brain of your child is not developing age appropriately, is not wearing and firing age appropriately. Walaikum assalam, everybody, okay? So it's not growing appropriately, okay? Why is that so? For a neurotypical child and a neurodiverse child, the brain is not functioning fully the same way, okay? So for you to understand why your child's system is locked on, why your child's system is, filled with so much of the struggles, you need to understand the body mechanism also. Okay, a little bit on that is this. So your child's body, let's say you give your child something to eat, okay? And what happens when we eat something? Our body tries to digest the food. And during the process of digestion, lots of chemicals and digestive products are also produced, okay? So all of those byproducts, and also if your child is not eating organic, is eating food which has a lot of chemicals or preservatives or, other sorts of matter in it that the body cannot digest, GMO products as well, then what happens is the body will create a lot of toxins. And those toxins will go to the head, to the brain, and it will affect the wiring and firing of the brain, okay? So that's why your child's attention is faltering. That's why your child's behavior is angry, aggressive, anxious, having meltdown every 5 minutes or 10 minutes or so, okay? So now that you know what the detoxification system is and how each and individual parts are connected to it, I will be making a more longer in-depth training on this very soon. But for today's episode, what I want to do is give you an overview, like a summary, because I get a lot of DMs and a lot of comments to make videos on this. Okay, so and since all throughout February I have talked a lot about detoxification, usually for the moms, but now I think it's high time for you to learn a little bit more about your child's system as well. Okay, so why do you need to, the number 2 question that we are going to be talking about is, why do you need to focus on your child's detoxification system? Okay, so there are certain types of toxins that your child's body creates or is exposed to. Okay, number 1 is the neurotoxins, the toxins that affects or created or is around the brain, nervous system. Okay, that's neurotoxin. Number 2 is gut toxin. So let's say if your child is not digesting food properly or is exposed to formalin, chemicals and pesticides through food, then that is affecting the gut toxin. Number 3 is post-digestive toxin or post-digestion toxin. So what that is let's say casomorphin. Your child is getting milk and your child is not digesting milk properly, then your child's body will produce casomorphin. Then let's say gluten. If your child is eating wheat-based product, then the child's body will be producing gluteomorphin. So those are post-digestive toxins. The other toxin that a child's body has is the stored toxin, which means, let's say your child is 4 years old, okay? So for the last 4 years, whatever he has been eating has accumulated, and a lot of the other stuff is actually stored. And it's not just for your child. Your body is also affected likewise. Your body, your other children's body, everybody's body is affected through this way. The difference between a neurotypical and a neurodiverse is this. The neurodiverse body and brain is not equipped properly to let go of those toxins. So which is why you need to learn how to eliminate those toxins safely and effectively, and also how to stop exposure from further exposures, right? So let's start about neurotoxins. I have already mentioned 2. There are thousands and thousands of other toxins that affects a child's body. I do not want to scare the poop out of you, okay? It's not my style. I do not do that, but I wanted you to learn this thing very normally. Let's normalize detoxification today, okay? Here's the thing. Let's say you gave your child bread and butter and something to go with it, okay? So when your child's body is trying to digest the bread, it cannot digest properly because there are lots of digestive errors in the gut, okay? Also, your child's body does not have the enough enzyme to digest those carbs. So what happens is that bread will turn into gluteomorphin, which will affect the nervous system. So what gluteomorphin will do is your child will behave like, drug addicts, okay? So if you compare your child's condition with that of substance abuser or somebody who is addicted, then you will understand there are lots of similarities between them, okay? So the reason why your child is aggressive, the reason why your child cannot sleep properly, the reason why your child has lots and lots of constipation, the reason why your child is having meltdown, all of those things are because the brain is not functioning properly. The brain, the nervous system is not getting the chemicals that it needs, the neurotransmitters that it needs to healthily function properly, okay? So apart from neurotoxins, I have talked about gut toxin, post-digestive toxins, and also the stored toxins, okay? So all of these toxins cumulatively adds up, right? With time, all of these toxins adds up. Let me know in the comment if you are, thank you so much, Zana, D-Z-A-N-A. I love your stream. They're always so helpful. Thank you so, so much. That's what we aim for. Okay, let me know in the comment, okay? Good morning, Lynn. Let me know in the comment what your questions are for detoxification. Let's say you want to ask me anything that it's coming to your mind as we are talking, okay? So yes, gluten-free bread is actually a lot better than gluten-based bread, but usually I talk about going grain-free, okay? So if you want to learn more about why you should go for grain-free, I have other trainings in the group as well in my YouTube. So you can check for them. I will link some of them in the notes as well, okay? So what happens is when your child is eating something that their child's digestive system is not equipped fully, then that causes a lot of problems. For example, constipation, digestive disorders, reflux, acidity, or if sometimes even diarrhea happens, okay? So all of these toxins cumulatively affects your child's nervous system, how it wires together, how it fires information, how it processes information, and all of those things. So usually I say it like this. Let's say your child's brain has a lot of fog, okay? Let's talk about you, okay? If you are wearing glass like me, and if you are in a steamy shower, what will happen? Or if you go outside in the snow, what will happen? Your eyes will fog off, right? So why does your eyes fog off? Because there is something in the air that is fogging this glass. Similarly, all of these neurotoxins, all of these gut toxins, they can actually travel back and forth, okay? All of these toxins fogs your child's brain and nervous system. So when all of these toxins are fogging the brain and nervous system, the brain cannot see properly. The brain cannot understand properly, which is why if you ask your child to give you something, he will just look at you because he doesn't understand what you are telling him. He might have problem in speech, he might have problem in other areas and whatnot, but all of those things, what I'm saying, is really connected with each other, okay? So detoxification is actually our third pillar, which we very rigorously work on. And another very important reason why you should focus first on detoxification is this. If your child is super picky eater, if your child is a picky eater or super picky eater or severely picky eater, and you are thinking of changing the diet and you are, really scared, here is the reason. Even if you learn 100 techniques, food activity, food play, giving your child different cuisine, going outside and feed him, all of these things won't really work. Why? Because your child's palate, the way how the child tastes food, is fogged up, is filled up with toxins. So what we do inside our program is we first attack on those toxins, we first attack on those systems which causes your child to have picky eating, okay? So when you work on detoxification first, it will reduce some of the excess load so that the body can now start functioning okay, and then only you can really go forward with the diet change. Otherwise, what will happen is it will be like a constant struggle. Your child has a lot of sensitivity, food intolerance, sensory issues, and then you are trying to force him to feed. It's not gonna work because his body is not being properly detoxifying, okay? Because your child's body is not properly detoxifying those toxins, there is still buildup of toxins, and all of these toxins affects his taste as well. All of those toxins affect, just like his mood, sleep, and all of those things, it affects your child's taste bud as well, which is why your child is a picky eater. Make sense? So your child is a picky eater because of the toxins. So rather than changing food habit first, which is hard, going against the flow, it's much more effective to work on the detoxification first, so that the detoxification process can reduce the toxic load of your child's body. And when your child's body's toxic load goes down, then your child's taste comes back, then your child's food preferences comes back, and then it becomes really easy for you to change the diet. I hope it makes sense. Okay, I hope it makes sense. So let me know if it makes sense. A lot of my students are also watching live. Thank you so much for being here. You guys can, share your experience on how your picky eater was able to overcome and doing all of those broth-based diets that we do, right? So share your experience as well so that others can learn from you as well as from me also. Okay, so next part that I want to talk about is how you can start the detoxification process, which is the most important thing. Okay, so before you know how to start a process, before you start a process, you need to do some research on the background information, okay? Which is why I gave you a little bit on the detoxification system. It's a huge topic. It's not possible for me or anybody in this world to very, eloquently discuss about detoxification system in just a 30-minute or 1-hour blog. It's not possible, okay? Which is why I had to just narrow down to the bare minimum that you need to understand, because I have a feeling I sometimes overwhelm my students and my followers. So I'm trying my best to give you less but effective information, okay? So before we continue on how you can work on detoxification, let's recap what we have learned so far, okay? Let's recap. So the first thing that I talked about is what is the detoxification system? So a body's detoxification system is the body's internal organs releasing and, cleaning up the toxins. And toxins can come from the food, it can come from the cleaning products that the child is using, it can come from the skin product that the child is using, it comes from the air, it comes from water, it comes from everything actually. Okay? Toxins, chemicals, comes from everything. And all chemicals are not created equally. Water is also a chemical. Do you know that? Why? Because water has chemical components to it. So the word chemical is actually having a wrong wrapper. Toxins is what you should be scared about or anxious about or thoughtful about. Okay, not all chemicals are bad. You have to understand which chemicals your child is getting exposed to, and those chemicals has to be reduced through the exposure way, okay? And also you need to support your child's detoxification system so that the body can let go of those toxins effectively. Clear with that? Okay, so the detoxification systems, the organs that works on are the lungs, kidneys, liver, what else? Skin, and also the large intestine, pooping, peeing, all of those things, okay? So the next question, the next point that we have discussed so far was why you need to focus on that. The reason why you need to focus on detoxification is number one, that if the process of detoxification is not effective, then your child's body and brain will have lots of neurotoxins. And neurotoxins, as the name can suggest, affects your child's nervous system. And if it affects your child's nervous system, it will affect his cognition, it will affect his mood, it will affect his sleep, it will affect how he behaves or understands commands, okay? So the next thing we talked about was gut toxins. So gut toxins comes from food, from chemicals, anything that through drinks or through food that is coming inside the body, okay? The third thing was post-digestive toxins, which are gluteomorphine, caseomorphine, and a lot of other chemicals and toxins that are created if your child is not digesting their food properly, okay? The next point that I spoke about was stored toxin. So stored toxin is what your child was exposed to yesterday, day before yesterday, since birth. Those are stored toxins, okay? So in general, you have to first focus on detoxification and then go for diet change. Changing diet is a very strong way of detoxification itself, but you have to focus first on detoxification. And this is what I teach to my students. And this is why we are 100%, alhamdulillah, successful in overcoming picky eating. Why? because your child's picky eating and sensory issues are coming from not having the proper detoxification system. Okay? So when your child's body is creating all of those toxins, it affects the sensory issues, it affects the tongue, it affects the, how the mouth works and all of those things. So which is why focusing first on detoxification will really help your child overcome picky eating, and then you can change the diet as well. So now, before I go on and give you tips, my hot tips on how you can start detoxification, let's answer this question. I think that's a question. So I swear, I think I know everything, what I have to do. My family members are coming and saying, you read so much. I have XYZ issue. What is it and what should I do? But it doesn't work. So sometimes I would love to kidnap you and say, go. They say autism is like a puzzle. You have to find the right piece. This puzzle searching sucks. Yes, Zena, it sucks. Here's the thing. You do not need to follow 100 people or 10 people. You just need to follow 1 or 2 person who is giving the right effective technique and strategies, and you just validate that with their I would say like student review or testimonial or things that's working for them. Okay, I understand. When I first started working on my son, I was bogged down as well. Should I change diet? Should I do detoxification? Should I give him therapy? Should I give him so many different things that you can try. But one day I was like, hold on, it's not humanly possible for me to keep on Googling everything. It's not humanly possible for me to try everything on my son. What I can do is try 4 or 5 things and then do them very deeply, consistently, long period of time. That's what you need. You don't need to try 10 different things, 1%. You need to try 1%, one thing, 10% more. Okay, I hope that answers your question. So let's move on to how can you start detoxification at home. Number one, drum roll, drink more water, or make your child drink more fluid. Okay, so if your child is not drinking water or is not liking water, I actually used to do some tricks. I would say the first thing I would do is buy really nice looking cups. Okay, number 2, what I would do with them is add fruits or vegetables in their water. That would make the water taste a little better. Fresh mint, cucumber, those things are really nice. Or strawberries or blueberries, whatever fruit your child really likes, you can use those to make your own. It works not just to make your child drink more water, it helps in detoxification as well. Okay, which is why we call these detox waters. So that's number 1, make your child drink more fluids. The fluid can be water, it can be homemade juice, not store-bought, homemade juice. If you are buying from store, you have to make sure they are cold pressed, fruit pulps inside, organic, and in glass jars, which are very expensive and not possible. The most cost-effective way to all of this work is to do things on your own. It's much more better if you batch prepare your things rather than getting overwhelmed with fresh pressed juice. So that was step number 1. Make your child drink more fluids. It can be also coconut water, soups, broths, and all of those things. Okay, so number 1 was make your child drink more water. Number 2 is give your child herbal, for that you would need professional guidelines, by the way. Some herbal instruments, some herbal tonics, they can really work on reducing the digestive stress, reducing the detoxification toxins in the body. So find supplements, just one, I would say just one. Find one very age appropriate and very safe yet effective supplement, which could be Ayurvedic in nature. We use our own Ayurvedic tonic, so that one we get from abroad. And find a professional guideline. please do not try to give and try and experiment with herbal stuff or chemical, totally not. Even with safe procedures, you need to better be under someone. Okay, why? Because if you are trying to do it on your own, you will mistake the dosage, which can actually affect your child in a bad way. Okay, so find a professional or naturopathic doctor, or how you say, I don't like homeopathy because homeopathy creates and gives a lot of toxin itself, because homeopathic medicines are actually toxins in low dose. Okay, they use arsenic, they use lead, and we all know those are actually heavy metals and bad for the brain as well. Okay, so find somebody or some supplement that will help your child's body to detox properly. Activated charcoal is a nice one, but it needs to be dosed properly. Okay, then something that else you can use is senna. I have been buying bulk dried senna leaves. Okay, senna leaves, those you can buy in health food store. It's available everywhere in the world. Senna is actually an Asian herb. In Bangladesh, in Pakistan, in India, we actually use it very, very regularly. But in the Western world also, you can find senna leaves. It's totally possible. Okay, just go to a Asian grocery store and then you can find them. So senna leaves, what you can do is put 1 teaspoon of senna leaves in hot water and put it overnight, and in the morning you can make your child drink that. Add a little bit of honey, but make sure, I would say like alert, that's a little bitter, because anything that's bitter is actually good for liver detoxification. So your child might not like to take that one, but it's up to you. Then you can also try celery juice. I have posted a lot of detox juice ingredients. So to prepare your own detox juice, make sure you blend and make smoothies with 50% of sweeter fruits and veggies and 50% of green, very deep or a little bitterish kind of fruits and veggies. So what will happen is the 50% of sweet fruits and veggies, they will sweeten the fruit, they will sweeten the juice enough for your child to like it. Okay, and the other 50% can be made of spinach, kale, then alfalfa, any sprouted roots, sprouted beans, all of those things, 50%. And other 50% can be, apple, orange, pears, like that. So add those things, blend them, take the pulp out, squeeze them very nicely, and that juice is actually very good for your child's detoxification as well. Okay, I swear by it. My students swear by that as well. Those are how you can do it by food. Okay, so how about trying other ways as well? So let's try using brain healing techniques. So how you can heal the brain. When you change the food habit, a lot of the toxin exposures is also reduced. Okay, a lot of the toxin exposures is also reduced. So home cooked food, not deep fried, okay, either lightly sauteed or soup based, those kind of foods are actually much easier on the digestive system, and they help your child's detoxification system. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3 that you can do is you can work on a gut healing protocol. So your child's gut is leaky. It has a lot of candida. It has a lot of other toxic, I would say, like microbes. So we need to kill those things. Use a very good probiotic for your child, age appropriately. Those will help to reduce the bad bacteria and fungus and all of those things down, and increase the good bacteria. Give your child more probiotic rich food, which will help your child's digestive system and also help in detoxification. Okay, the last thing that I want to talk about is it's very much important to reduce and stop exposure of new toxins. Okay, so if you're just following on, if you're just focusing on reducing the toxin that is stored in the body or it's getting from the food or from outside, then it's not the full range of support. Your child's support needs to be in a way that you are reducing the toxins from coming in, you are reducing the toxins from building inside, and you are also reducing whatever stored toxin your child's body has, okay? So all of those things you need to do, and please find a professional to work through with that, because a lot of us are not well versed on science, or not well versed on, healthcare protocols and whatnot. So to make sure that you are doing it safely, I am saying it all and all again, ever and again, okay? Because you need to make sure your child detoxification system is supported naturally, is supported effectively, it's supported efficiently, and it's not clogging up the whole system, okay? So you can reduce some of those clogging by making sure you change the diet, as I have said already. You can also try giving your child detox baths, okay? So detox bath is where you put eucalyptus or other essential oils or herbs, and then you can add Epsom salt, okay, in the bath water, and then let your child soak up in the water bath for 15 minutes. So what that will do is the magnesium oxide, the magnesium from it can be in other forms as well, if I'm not mistaken. So the Epsom salt has magnesium in various chemical ways, okay? Ways. So those magnesium and those Epsom salt will help draw out the toxin from your child's skin, okay? Because skin is the largest detoxification organ of the body. Skin is the largest detoxification organ of the body. So make sure you give your child a nice detox bath, and right after the bath, give him some sort of really deep tissue massage, okay? I did make one small video where I showed how my husband gives massage to my son. It's in the group, it's also in my YouTube. You can find that as well. Sparkling water. Zena says, what about sparkling water? Is it really so bad? Duh! Anything that comes in a plastic package, anything that you are not producing at home, anything that a company is producing will have some sort of chemicals and toxins, even though it's made with the best intention, with the best technology. Let's come back to square one, ground zero. And that is, we are natural beings. We are supposed to live in nature. We are supposed to eat natural food. The food and drinks that we see and eat these days are not food. They look like food. They might taste like food, but they're all chemical BS, okay? So please try to change your mindset into this. And you can say, I am very busy, I am exhausted, my brain is not working properly, I don't have enough money. There will be a lot of problems that will come up. But the most important thing is this, your intention. Your intention, your dedication, and your perseverance. Those things will annihilate any excuses, roadblocks, or obstacles you have. Okay, I have worked with very limited, financially limited people. They were able to change their food and diet and lifestyle. I have worked with high flying career moms who did not have time, but they were able to change all of those things. I have worked with stay-at-home moms with 1 child, with 5 child, with 4 child. You give me a stat, I have alhamdulillah worked with that. It's totally possible, okay? The number one thing that's important for you is to have the intention. I want to change this. How can I change this? Remember the last episode that I did? I asked you guys to ask smart questions. So the smart question that you need to ask is, what can I give or take or buy instead of sparkling water? Okay? What can I take or buy or make instead of burger? What can I give instead of pizza? What can I do? Okay, what can I do or how can I do? When you ask yourself this question, how can I how can I blank? Then your brain, the reticular activating system in the frontal lobe, that will find the answer for you. You don't have to get stressed out. Your brain will find the answer for you. It will find information lying all over around. There is always a lot of information and solution around us. It's the difference between what we are focusing on that will grab your attention. So if you are focusing on problem, if I am focusing on problem, I will see problem all the time. If I am focusing on solution, I will see solution all the time. Okay, what is the best time to give detoxification juice? The best times for juice is always on empty stomach. Never, ever after food. Please do not give juices or fruit-based products or fruits to your child after main meal. So it can be like a snack in between meals, or it could be in the morning, early morning, okay? All right, so far we have answered a lot of the questions that I wanted to discuss on today, okay? So let's recap on how you can start the detoxification process. The first thing that I talked about was make sure your child is drinking lots of water. Detox juice, I have given a little bit of how you can make your own detox juice. So make sure your child is drinking a lot of pure, nice, sugarless or sugar-free drinks and beverage, okay? Number 2 that you need to work on is give him some sort of digestive and detoxification support, which can come as supplement, which can come as herbs, which can come as tonics and things like that, okay? And please make sure you are working through them under a professional person. Just go to an Ayurvedic professional. He will be much more better to serve you than a doctor, okay? Because the Ayurvedic professional, if he's of good quality, he or she will find out what your child's condition is, what your child needs, and then, drive you towards that goal. So the third thing that you need to do is work on his gut healing, work on her gut healing. So the gut healing could be through food. The gut healing could be through giving your child more probiotics. The gut healing could be making sure that your child is pooping large quantities every day, okay, regularly. All of those things will help with the gut healing. The fourth thing that you need to work on is exposure to new toxins. So changing the cleaning material, cleaning detergent, cleaning floor cleaners, surface cleaners, detergent, conditioner, skin products, all of those things slowly change to natural products, okay, or homemade versions. It's totally possible. And the last thing that I spoke about was using a little bit of detox protocols. So detox protocol comes through diet change. It comes through giving your child, Epsom salt baths. It comes through by giving your child a nice massage after the bath, because massage helps the lymphatic system, which is the biggest, I would say, biggest drainage mechanism in the body. It helps your child's detoxification process, okay? So do all of those things. I have today given you a lot of tips, a lot of strategies, and I want you guys to not just listen and then forget, and then go on to another person's live and then see what she's saying, and then again go on to another Google blog post and then read what another person is saying. Don't do that. That way you are overwhelming yourself with too much information, okay? Too much information makes you procrastinate. Too much information makes you procrastinate because your brain gets overwhelmed. You have to understand to go with the flow. So what is the flow of your brain? Your brain's flow is to make things easy, because your brain wants to follow what is easy, okay? And make sure you are thinking about your child's situation too. So if your child is not wanting, is severely picky, is not eating or drinking enough, then you need to work on the detoxification under a professional first, so that your child's system load goes down and your child can start eating nicely and better and healthy food, okay? That is the easier route, and that's what we teach inside our programs, okay? Then you have to understand this. how can I make things easy for me? How can I add X, Y, and Z that I have learned today? Because information without implementation is nothing. Through all of these episodes that I share with you guys, I give a lot of tips, I give a lot of strategies that I actually teach to my paid clients. The difference between you listening to this live or to the replays is whether you are taking the action or not. So please go back, rewatch this. I will add some more information and start implementation one step at a time. Start implementing one step at a time. Okay, do not go and then, okay, today I'm gonna go for a shopping, I will change every food habit, I will change all the drinks, I will change all the cleaning products. You will overwhelm yourself as well. So go slowly, go with the flow and go slowly. Okay, change one thing at a time, just like one step at a time. And that's how you can move forward. And if you need support to understand more, to get customized support for your child, then you can definitely contact us. Our WhatsApp number is +1, that's our country code, 6134 10 20 27. So please, my teammate, I think he is on live, please leave the number as well so that our people can go through that as well. I have another question I guess I would answer before I go. When is the best time of the day to give activated charcoal? First of all, Nana, if you are giving activated charcoal, make sure the dosage is proper for your child. It's not too much, like, adult dose for kids. And number 2, activated charcoal is best given at night after dinner, right after dinner. Okay? So with that, thank you so much for staying here until the end. I am looking forward to being of service to you, of being in support to you. Let me know your questions. And if you have any topics that you want to work on, that you want me to make videos on, please let me know. I am all ears for you. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Allah Hafiz.